Last night, the White Sox powered their way to a series-evening win over the Indians with some early home runs and some great pitching from James Shields, who went 7 innings, allowing just 1 run on 4 hits. As the Indians were shut down, and this series was even up at a game apiece. The Indians had a 5-game winning streak against the Sox here in Chicago come to an end last night. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. Woody Held is a largely forgotten person in Cleveland Indians history, but I don't think, Rick, we appreciate the true pioneer the old shortstop was. Back in 1959, he hit 29 home runs. That was a record that stood for a long time for an Indian shortstop. He also had the second highest number of strikeouts in the American League. So now here, some 60 years later, more players than ever are adhering to his old philosophy of swing hard just in case you make contact.
And Matt Davidson is one of those for the Chicago White Sox. Last night he ended an 0-for-17 slump with a couple of doubles. And I mean, when you look at it, he swings hard. It's 106 off the bat, just under it. And his second double of the night going off the wall, straight away center field. And there it is. It's about 105 miles an hour off the bat. So he's your modern-day hitter, because half of his hits that he has on the year are for extra base hits. He either goes deep, he strikes out a lot, and he swings and misses. He is walking a little bit more than average, but you can see the average exit velocity just under 90 miles per hour, and he has a max of 115. Now that's going off the bat.
Woody Held, God rest his soul. I hope he's looking down saying,
Yes.
See, I told you so. All right, Trevor Bauer gets the start tonight for the Indians. His last time out, he simply overpowered the Detroit Tigers.
Well, I'll tell you what, he has been on a strikeout binge. In his last 5 starts, he has double-digit strikeouts in 4 of those games. 52 strikeouts in 35 innings. He's been dealing 3-1 with an ERA just over 2. He was 2-0 last year against the Chicago White Sox, 6-2 in his career. He's going to go out there and toe the rubber and try and give the lead to the Indians in this series.
Finally, we have a beautiful night for baseball here in the Windy City. We'll be back with the play-by-play. Al and Jensen are up next with the showstopper. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by Who But W.B. Mason, the official office supplier of the Cleveland Indians, and by your Northern Ohio Honda dealers. Made in Ohio, Ohio proud. American League Central Division. They've won 11 of their last 16 games, currently sit at 35-30 on the year. The White Sox, meanwhile, come in at 23-42 on the season. Let's go downstairs right now to Andre Knott with our Hear Right Sounds of the Game.
Thank you very much, Matt. You know, with Trevor Bauer, we always talk about how important the fastball is for any pitcher and how you must use it and how you must control it to win games. With Trevor, he understands that, but he knows his curveball in his mind is his best pitch. And tonight he talks about how he distributes and uses all of his pitches, even though fastball may not be his favorite one to throw.
My fastball's been a lot better because I'm throwing it harder and I'm using it less. So with better off-speed stuff that is used more, like my primary approach right now is off-speed stuff. I think I throw like 40% fastballs. So when you have plus off-speed stuff at slower speeds that people have to contend with, I mean the majority of the pitches they're seeing are off-speed pitches. Then when they do get a fastball, and I think I've averaged like 96, 97 my past month. So when they do get it, it's just harder to square up.
Well, it certainly makes sense, you know, when you do that, because he can throw that curveball, it seems like, anytime he wants. And then, you know, he throws that high fastball, and you can see 40% of the time that curveball seems to be his favorite pitch, but he's incorporating that slider, the cutter, and his changeup starting to come around too. So he still throws mostly fastballs, 40%, but I don't think he likes to throw it that much. He likes it hard.
Well, the Indians have had a lot of success against the White Sox despite last night's series evening loss. They've won 16 of their last 21 against Chicago, and they'll get another look this year at Dylan Covey.
Yes, Covey will be the Northern Ohio Hyundai starting pitcher. He is 2-1. He's pitched very well at home this year. He's 1-0 with a .75 earned run average. He's a little sinker. He's got that split changeup, and he had a no decision against the Indians in his last start in Cleveland on the 28th of May.
Here's the starting lineup for Terry Francona, brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Francisco Lindor will lead it off. Michael Brantley batting second. Jose Ramirez hits third. Edwin Encarnacion in the cleanup spot once again as the DH. Yonder Alonso is fifth. Melky Cabrera gets the start in right field tonight. He'll bat sixth. Then it's Jason Kipnis. Roberto Perez back in the starting lineup. He'll hit eighth. And Greg Allen, the center fielder, bats ninth.
And the defense for the White Sox, it'll be Tilson, Engel, and Thompson in the outfield. It'll be Sanchez at third, Anderson at short, Moncada is at second, Abreu at first, with Smith doing the catching.
Scott Berry will call the balls and strikes. There's the crew chief, Paul Nart. He's at second base. Carlos Torres at first, Tom Woodring at third, and we're ready to go. Francisco Lindor, a pair of doubles last night, his 25th multi-hit game of the year, fourth best in the American League. Covey's pitch up and away, ball one. Underway here in Chicago. Down low. 76 degrees our game time temperature. In there for a strike. Lindor takes a strike. And the count is 2-2.
Covey, a guy that likes to sink his fastball to try and get the ground balls.
Just a bit high. He did not go. And a full count. Bouncing ball to first, right into the gut of Abreu. He hangs on, takes it himself, one away. Our storylines tonight are brought to you by Wayside Furniture. Dylan Covey has limited the opposition in the clutch. And Trevor Bauer has punched out double digits each of his last three. I don't know what those things are called that are floating through the air, but when you see it from our center field camera, it almost looks like it's snowing.
Well, no, this has been the nicest day we've seen, I think, on the whole trip.
Yeah. No doubt about it. 76 degrees at game time, not a cloud in the sky. But allergies will probably be on the rise if you are allergic to all this stuff floating through the air. Michael Brantley with a hit in 26 of his last 30 games. Still one of the top hitters in the American League. Lifted toward left center field, charging in, avoiding the birds is Tilson, but Michael Brantley has a one-out single here in the first.
Yeah, so he's hit safely now in 45 of his 56 games. Off the end of the bat here and placed beautifully. As the birds are flying around, they're going to vacate and let the ball drop for a base hit for Brantley. One-out single.
Brantley fifth in the American League in batting average coming in, and be curious to see if this becomes any kind of an issue tonight, because the birds don't seem to be getting the message that the game is on and it's time to leave. Ramirez bounces a single into right field. Brantley stops at second.
Brantley got his ground ball he was looking for. It's just that Ramirez found the hole between first and second. So back-to-back singles. You're going to see it on the Nissan pitch tracker down at the knees. And no chance for Michael to go to third. The ball gets here. You see Thompson coming into play. Already had the ball before Brantley got to second base. In Kofi's last start, he ended up beating the Boston Red Sox 1-0. That was Chris Sale.
Edwin takes a strike. Encarnacion, 16 home runs, 8th most in the American League. And he hits a ground ball to second. This could be two. He drops the ball. Moncada able to turn and throw out Encarnacion. So that keeps it from being a complete disaster, and now there are 2 down in the inning.
Yeah, that's the good thing if you're Moncada. At least he got it out. They should have had 2 to get out of the inning, and we'll see if they can take advantage of it. Sometimes you see, just maybe tried to get a little too quick. He ended up dropping the ball, but still got the out at first base. Sometimes those unturned double plays can hurt you.
Well, it gives Yonder Alonso a chance. He looks at ball one. On the year, Alonso has batted .292 with runners in scoring position. And he's been on a real hot streak of late. In his last 19 at bats with runners on base, he has 10 hits. So he likes the traffic in front of him. Chance to grab the early lead.
That's what you want to do against the White Sox. Their pitching staff has pitched very well in the month of June. To this point, they have a 2.74 ERA overall. Only 2 clubs better than that in all of baseball. That's the Yankees and the Cubs.
Time called. It's the catcher, Kevin Smith. Brantley at third, Ramirez at second, 2 down. The 1-0 pitch is inside. 2 balls, no strikes. When the Indians have been able to score first on the year, they are 25-14. cannot get on the same page.
He was coming set and then just stepped off.
Alonso trying to stay patient here. He's got a 2-0 count. And he swings and misses. 2-1.
Didn't give in to the fastball on that 2-0 count. Went with the slider.
Foul back to the screen, and now it's 2-2. Great opportunity for Covey to try to get out of the early jam.
Well, he would be picking up his second baseman if he can do that.
And he took a fastball right down the heart of the dish for strike 3. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left. The White Sox are coming to bat.
This year, a record of 5-4 and a 2.62 ERA. He's the Northern Ohio Honda starting pitcher, and Bauer's been on a roll. He's 3-1 in his last 5 starts, striking out guys 3 consecutive starts of double-digit strikeouts. 2-0 last year against the White Sox, 6-2 in his career.
For Rick Renteria, the White Sox starting 9, Yoan Moncada and Yolmer Sanchez. They both homered to start the game last night for Chicago. Then Jose Abreu and Daniel Palka, Kevin Smith, Tim Anderson, Charlie Tilson, Adam Engel, and Trace Thompson gets the start in right field tonight, batting 9th. The back-to-back homers for Chicago last night set the tone and enabled them to get the win. It's particularly important so far this year for the Indians to score first when they are on the road, because when the opposition has scored first in road games this year, the Indians have lost 9 of 11.
Yeah.
That was the 4th time this year that Moncada has led off a game with a home run. That's second most in the American League.
Yeah, George Springer
has 1 more.
Yes, he does.
Strike 3 called. Moncada out looking, and Power picks up right where he left off in his last start.
Well, he wastes no time, and he tells you he's got a couple of change-ups in there, and then a good hook to put him away.
Now Yolmer Sanchez. His home run last night in the first inning, one of the few hits he's had of late. Last 6 games, just 3 for 20 at the plate. But to be honest, the White Sox just got done playing the Red Sox. Now they're playing the Indians. That's pretty good starting pitching. Night in, night out. Up high, 2-1.
Yeah, they won the series up there against the Red Sox when they were in Boston.
We'll have to look and see, Arch, if any team this year has the unenviable task of facing the Indians, Astros, and Red Sox in consecutive series. That could put you in a month-long slump.
Yeah, it sure could. Hits would be tough to come by.
Now the 2-2. Tell you right now, the guy that could be really tested in this game early is Michael Brantley. He has a lot of those gulls circling around him. Some of them are on the grass out in left field. And that's ball 4. Sanchez draws a 1-out walk.
Let's check the Indians defense, brought to you by Chrysler. Behind Bauer tonight will be Brantley, Allen, and Cabrera in the outfield. On the infield from third to first, Ramirez, Lindor, Kipnis, Alonso, Roberto Perez back behind the plate.
I think the hardest part for Brantley is not that the birds are there, but if a ball's hitting his direction and they start to scatter as the ball comes in, that's got to be a little distracting.
The one ballpark that used to be like that was old Exhibition Stadium in Toronto.
The outdoor ballpark.
Oh my goodness. It was annoying.
Abreu sends one to deep right. Back goes Cabrera, and Melky makes the catch on the warning track for out number 2. Let's go down to Andre.
All right, Matt, you said a meat grinder would be seeing the Indians, the Red Sox, and seeing teams of that nature back to back. How about the Astros? Earlier in May, they saw the Cleveland Indians, then 2 against San Fran, then the Indians again, as we know, for 4, then the Yankees, then Boston, and then they saw Seattle a day later, and they had to see Big Maple. So that was about a month of some of the toughest pitching you're going to see. The Astros already went through in May.
That was a grinder then.
But luckily for them, they have good pitching
that
can kind of maybe match or offset some of that. That's, whew, that is a pretty, no wonder Seattle got back in the hunt. Well, the Astros were banging their head against the wall.
But they're 20 games over now. They walked off again the Angels today, and they swept them.
And the Astros went 9-8 in that stretch of 17 games.
All right, good number, Andre. Way to go.
I can use my toes and hands.
He's down there working.
You can put your shoes back on now.
Houston came into today with a 6-game winning streak. But the Mariners winning today have won 9 of 11. Right now, 2 down here in the first. Daniel Palka. This is a guy, we talked about Matt Davidson in the open. This is a guy who can really get after it too.
Yeah, very similar from the left side of the plate. He's DHing tonight. He played right field in the first 2 games of this series.
Yeah, Davidson getting the night off. Bauer's 0-2. Runner goes. Perez with a throw down, and it was high, and by the time Lindor corralled it, he couldn't get the tag down in time.
Yeah, you wonder if that hand is still bothering him, because that throw was high. He got to that ball quickly enough, right there in front of him, but at the time he makes that throw, it is high, and that's enabled Sanchez's foot to get in there. So that would be a wild pitch.
They're going to take a look at it here. So the Indians challenge the call at second. They feel like the tag was applied before Sanchez got the foot in. We're going to have to take another spin through our replays.
My first view of it from the naked eye, I thought he got his foot down by the time the tag was made.
Did he get the knee? Like the tag was swiping down near the knee. If he made contact, maybe.
Let's see. This may be a little different angle. I don't know. Paul Nauert, the second base umpire, was right there in position. Lindor's glove went down. I don't know if he touched him, but then he had to come back up to tag him. So my guess would be that he didn't tag him if he tried to come back with it. It's going to be a tough one to get overturned here, I would imagine.
I think you'd almost need the super slow-mo look to see if in fact the edge of Lindor's glove made contact with his knee.
That's hard to tell.
Yeah.
You can't tell there. It's taken a while, so looking at it this year, they have tried 15 challenges. 7 of them have been overturned.
This one is unusually long from what we've been used to this year, so I'm guessing there must be some evidence that would indicate maybe he did get that tag on him. Maybe it's a look we haven't been able to see yet. The people in New York get access to both the home TV feed and the visiting TV feed, and all for nothing.
Yes, because he is. That's
now why that's critical is that means the Indians are now out of challenges for the remainder of the game until the 8th inning. So the runners in scoring position with 2 down. Polk is still buried in the count 1-2. Strikes him out, ends the inning. Much ado about nothing. After 1, no score in Chicago.
Yes, that's a lot more than there was yesterday.
I think they told us it's dollar hot dog night here in Chicago.
All righty.
Perhaps those folks have already had their fill. Melky Cabrera leads off here in the second inning. Played in the series opener in which the Indians won 0 for 2, couple of walks, scored a run. In his last full season with the White Sox in 2016, Melky Cabrera hit .296 with 14 homers, 86 runs batted in, had 42 doubles that year. The 1-2.
I'm thinking his last game as a White Sox, it was against the Indians. Faced Corey Kluber and went 4 for 4 before Kansas City got him.
Missed outside and a full count. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. A couple of Ks for Dylan Covey, one down here in the second inning. Tonight we're participating in the Home Run Challenge. Every home run in this game will raise money for prostate cancer research. Since June 1st, $1.3 million has been raised in the challenge. Now you can make a pledge. Go online to homerunchallenge.org. Jason Kipnis takes a strike. Kipnis 0 for 4 last night, but has reached safely in 25 of the last 28 games he has played. Foul back. 1-2 the count. Twins lead the Tigers 2-1. They're in the 5th in the Motor City. Broke his bat. Kip will need a new piece of lumber. Offensively, as well as the Indians were rolling there for a while, they've been scuffling a little bit here in the month of June. Only twice in the 10 games they've played have they scored more than 4 runs. And one of those was in a 7-5 loss. Got a piece of it,
yes,
strikes him
sure
out.
Did. So 3 straight strikeouts now for Covey. This is his split change. There you see it. How he holds that ball, it goes down. That's a good pitch. It did catch a piece of the bat right into the glove. Well, and the road has, we said they scored 2 fewer runs on the road than they do at home when they're averaging. So we've got 1 more game to go before we go home and have a nice long homestand.
Easy out here to end the inning. The Indians go in order. Middle of the second, no score in Chicago.
TV. Watch baseball live or on demand on his favorite supported devices. Save 50% now through Father's Day. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Just visit MLB.tv for the details.
Just watch Cookie Carrasco with all the birds and everything else we have going on. There's more birds over by the Indians dugout. There's a reason. Cookie decided to start feeding them. He has a couple pieces of bread, and he's been feeding some of them down here by the dugout. So just if you see more birds over here, that may be the reason why. Is Cookie?
I'm sure his teammates are going to be real thrilled with that.
Yeah, there's already some guys saying some words to him, but he's having the time of his life right now with them.
He does seem to have a childlike curiosity at times. Andre, did you find your microphone, the one that was missing?
Andre has his microphone, as you can hear from me. I was also having a conversation with Cookie, and he said, "Why are you looking for a microphone? You have one." So, no is the short answer. The funny part is Mike Clevenger looked at me and he goes, "I find it hilarious that you guys lose a mic and the first person you guys come to is Cookie."
Correct. Yeah.
I wonder why.
The 1-2.
That's what he was talking about, that when he throws that fastball, it's got a little extra zip on him, and he was lucky to foul that pitch off.
Two balls and two strikes. Here's a 2-2 and another foul back. Smith is riding a 5-game hitting streak, coinciding with when he got called back from AAA. Bauer perseveres and gets the strikeout, his third of the night. Take a look at our Rocket Arms, courtesy of Rocket Mortgage, Quicken Loans. Indian starters 17-5. Trevor Bauer 3-3. This is following a loss.
Pretty nice job by all starters. 17-5 after a loss.
And I mean, you almost throw the records out, because the ERA is the thing. Sometimes wins and losses for individuals, I mean, that conversation is gathering more and more momentum. But as far as a starting pitcher in his record, it's almost become irrelevant, because there are so many external factors that impact a guy's record.
I'll tell you what, the last start for Trevor Bauer, if he didn't pitch his 8 innings, he wouldn't have got the win, because he came out, remember, it was a 1-1 game, and he went out there for the 8th, and he hung on, and they finally scored a run for him in Detroit. And he was out of the ball game, but he ended up getting the win. But that's what happens. You have to pitch deeper into games. But I know what you're saying. Yeah. A lot of times it's out of your control, and most of the starters just say, "Hey, my job is to keep my team close."
Jose Ramirez throws out Tim Anderson, and there are 2 down.
Let's check out Trevor Bauer's breaking pitches. There's the curveball, that big slow hook. He can control that and throw that just about any time he wants, and throw it for a ball if he wants. There's a slider that he's incorporated more into his game this year, and a changeup that he's using more for the left-handed hitters. You can see that goes the other way. And then he has that good fastball that you just saw. Oh, man.
Heck of an effort by Ramirez, but Charlie Tilson beats it out. He cut in front of Lindor because he figured he had to. There was just no time to waste. But when he got the ball, he couldn't get anything on the throw, and I'm wondering if he does let Lindor get it, is there any better chance to get him? I don't think so.
I don't either. No, he wouldn't have, because he would have had to go down and come back. No, he was almost running out of the batter's box. See where he was?
Yep.
I mean, he took off, and that just wasn't hit hard enough. So 2-out infield single. First hit for the White Sox.
Adam Engel, the batter. High fly ball. Brantley running through the birds, makes the catch. No runs, a hit, a man left through 2. No score in Chicago. Chicago, and they have been a bit of a nuisance, but have not directly impacted play as of yet.
Yeah. Well, it's early. We're only in the third.
Greg Allen leading off here in the third. 1 for his last 25 at the plate. High fastball. That time he brought it down into the zone and evens the count at 2-2. Fastball, strike 3 called, and that's 4 Ks through first time through the lineup for Dylan Covey.
You see a low heater at the knees, inside part of the plate. Gets the call. He's had 2 called strikeouts and 2 swinging strikeouts. Covey, a guy that was a Rule 5 draft for the White Sox from Oakland back on December of 2016.
A rare sign of frustration visible frustration from Francisco Lindor as he swung through that pitch. After he made contact, the first thing he did was just drop his head as if to say, "Are you kidding me?"
I'll take a look. Look at, yeah, frustration. That's where you're probably talking to yourself, saying, all right, make him get the ball up, and then you go ahead and swing at that pitch. It's down.
I mean, that's why this game is so crazy. Because who was hotter than Francisco Lindor in the month of May? Ramirez, Brantley, and all three of them are now scuffling to get it going here in June.
Yes, in the month of June. That is true. That's how it goes, man. Hitting, you know, it comes and it goes. Pitching is consistent and it travels. That's why when you have solid pitching, you can stay in every ball game. Hitting comes and goes. That's when you have to do all the little things right.
No balls, 2 strikes. Dylan Covey is rolling. He has struck out 5. And we are scoreless, middle of the 3rd.
Field this weekend for the first time this season. Kids can grab a $15 KeyBank Kids ticket, online only. You can enjoy a ball game at the ballpark. Visit Indians.com for your tickets.
Trevor Bauer goes to work here in the bottom of the 3rd. He'll face Trace Thompson to lead it off. Thompson, last 10 games, is just 2 for 30 at the plate. You talk about shaking your confidence a little bit. Pop, but that's going to go out of play.
We've seen a number of, when you talk about 2 for 30, some pretty good streaks like that already this year, early in the year, from not, you know, just some Indians hitters as well as hitters on other ball clubs.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Thompson stays alive on a foul right back. Leadoff man Yohan Moncada waits on deck. Then Yolmer Sanchez here in the 3rd for Chicago. And now a full count. Bauer able to get ahead of the light hitting Thompson, but having a tough time putting him away. And the 3-2 pitch is fouled off.
Well, that's what he's been able to do, is foul off a couple of fastballs after he was down in the count. And Trevor has missed with a couple of his off-speed pitches. This guy's the one you want to go out and try and get out on 3 pitches or less if you can.
Ground ball to 3rd. Ramirez throws him out. He is 9 for 9 on first pitch strikes tonight, and efficiency is something that Bauer is really striving for.
Best way to do it is just throw the first 2 pitches in the zone. You can't strike anyone out until you get to 2 strikes anyway. So if you throw strike 1, strike 2, then you can have 2 pitches with an 0-2 count to go for a punch out if you get there. And if you average 4 pitches per hitter over the course of a game, it's 108 pitches for a 9-inning game, right? So you give yourself 2 pitches to try and strike a guy out. Plus, then you backlog some because someone's going to hit the first pitch or second pitch. And when you have 4 or 5 plus pitches that you can throw all for strikes, anything you throw has a good probability of turning into an out. So it frees you up mentally to just, okay, I'm gonna catch the white of the plate. And just trust that my stuff is good enough and the mix is good enough.
You can really see the mathematical mind of Trevor Bauer at work.
He's got it figured out.
That interview, yeah.
And it is a key, and I think that's what the Indians pitchers do so well, is they throw strike 1, and you know the first 3 pitches that are coming in that zone. If you can get to a 1-2 count, 0-2, 1-2 count, that's the key to pitching, I think, because then they can go expand that strike zone.
We always talk about what it's taken to get Trevor Bauer to this point. And coaches had tried to tell him that before, but he wanted to use all of his pitches. And then he finally realized when he was done in the 5 or 6 innings, it was his own fault. He said it hit him last year that I got to do this a little bit better. I got to do this so I can go deeper in the game. And he's starting to figure out, get strike 1 over, get strike 2 in, and then you can go to everything you want to play with.
Yes, indeed.
He strikes out Moncada. That gives him 4 Ks on the night. There are 2 down in the inning. And not to mention, his stuff is so good that he's just hard to hit. He's only given up, coming into tonight, 70 hits in the 86 innings that he's pitched. So he's a tough guy for a hitter to go up there and square up and even get the ball in play.
Right, and this plays into that fastball cut that we played before the game, if people missed that one as well. Where that's why he has an importance with the fastball, because that's one that you can get a strike with early in the count, and he didn't realize that early in his career.
He gets strike 1 to Yolmer Sanchez.
Well, he's getting it figured out, I'll tell you that. He's 11 for 11 now for strike 1.
Sanchez drew a walk in the first. And he's 0-2 here. And he's taking a little extra time before he climbs back in because he was tied up on that pitch. Fouls it off. Roberto with a good block. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
See, that's the one he can bounce on the plate, that curveball, anytime he wants. So he has 2 strikes. He doesn't want to throw that one for a strike. He wants them to chase it. And that's why when Perez calls it, he knows every time that one's going to be down in the dirt, and he's ready for it.
Locked him up with a fastball. 5 Ks for Bauer. White Sox go in order for the first time tonight. And we are scoreless through 3. Our stat of the game tonight brought to you by Buick. Jose Ramirez has reached base safely in 21 in a row. 3rd longest streak in the league. .40 extra base hits. 2nd most in the American League. Between 1st and 2nd, Abreu with the backhand. 1 away. Well, you just saw Shin-Soo Chu's name at the top of that list. Remember this back in '09? Into the birds at Progressive Field for a game winner. It deflected off a bird, and Coco Crisp says, "Oh, come on, man."
Yes, it did.
And that was a game winner, a walk-off winner.
That was beautiful. I do remember that game.
Edwin Encarnacion looks at a ball up high. High fly ball, deep right field. Thompson back at the wall and makes the catch. Up against the fence in front of the Indians bullpen for out number 2. I think Edwin felt like he got enough of that one.
Look at him. He gets back to the wall, and you can see it's still moving out there. There's some wind up there, and then
man, that bird
comes into play.
I wonder if that bird was that close or if it just looked like it was that close.
I think it looked like it was that close.
Yonder Alonso, a swing and a miss. He was out looking to end the 1st inning, and that was a critical at bat because the Indians had 2nd and 3rd, but there were 2 down. Their only scoring chance in the game. They haven't had a hit since the Ramirez single in the 1st.
You know, Dylan Covey last year for these White Sox. He got a chance to start 12 games, and he was 0-7 with an ERA of 7.71 last year.
Well, we were talking, you know, about what James Shields went through. What, 12 straight decisions without a winner or without a win?
Yes.
And I mean, this kid, same situation.
He was. He had it last year where he was in that boat, but I'll tell you what, they said he came back this year like a different guy. He went down to AAA and was starting, and he's been very good for him since he's been called back up to the big leagues.
Perfect placement right here by Yonder Alonso for the Indians. Third hit of the night.
Right there. I mean, it just didn't go into the glove.
Snaps a string of 10 in a row retired by Dylan Covey. Melky Cabrera breaks his bat, and Alonso stops at second. The Indians have back-to-back hits with 2 outs in the 4th. I mean, imagine starting your career in the major leagues, your first 13 starts without a win.
Yeah, that's, you know, so you would think it would affect some people.
But for Dylan Covey, it might just be a little bit different because of what he overcame to get here in the first place. Originally drafted out of high school by the Brewers, and then right before the deadline to sign his contract or not sign his contract, he had a physical, and they found out he had type 1 diabetes. And he had to make the decision. He had to make a decision. Do I sign? Or do I get this taken care of? And he and his family decided jumping into pro baseball and learning how to live with diabetes, probably not the best idea at that age. So he decided to turn down the draft and go to college, learn how to deal with this, and then ended up being a 4th-round pick in 2013. Weak ground ball. Third baseman Sanchez throws him out, and the inning is over. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left. Middle of the 4th. No score here in Chi-Town. And it's been confirmed, Miguel Cabrera done for the season. A ruptured bicep tendon. And Nate Jones, we saw him pitch last night, got some problems in the old pitching wing, so he's on the 10-day DL. It looked real sharp last night, so perhaps it is connected. Jose Abreu will lead off the bottom of the 4th for Chicago. Trevor Bauer has retired 9 of 11. He has struck out 5. He's walked 1. Ground ball to short. Lindor takes his time, makes a good throw. 1 down. Let's go down once again to Andre Knott.
All right, if you can get a close look at Roberto Perez, it's a surprise that he's even playing. Terry Francona told me before the game, when this injury originally happened on Sunday, they thought there was no way in the world he'd be playing in 3 days. They thought the hand was broken, but it just swelled up, and the muscle kind of swelled up on Roberto a little bit. But he says he feels great today. They've got it taped up, and he's going to give it a go. He said the last thing he wanted to do was to go on the DL, and he was going to play through it. So he's hoping that this will be something that goes away in the next few days. Other injuries to note, you should have Brandon Guyer back tomorrow morning. He should be activated. Terry Francona said it's going to be a very tough situation, but that boy almost ate that one. It's going to be a tough decision on who goes and who stays in that situation. Also, we brought up Bradley Zimmer to him. He said Bradley Zimmer currently is down for the next 5 to 7 days. Hurt his shoulder warming up in the cage down in Columbus. So there's going to be a couple more days before he can come back as well.
All right, thanks, Andre. Two-one on the way to Polka. Swung on it, missed. And the count is 2-2.
This guy's fighting for the ball. 2 Indians fans over there. They've got it and they're still fighting for it.
Pulls a foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 1 down here. Bottom of the 4th. Oh, baby. 96-mile-an-hour fastball inside corner, just froze him. And a half dozen Ks for Bauer already tonight.
Well, you're going to see this comebacker on the inside part of the plate. There's that little 2-seamer where you can start it inside. You get a little movement to it. It goes in and catches a corner. It locks up that left-hander. A beautiful pitch right there by Trevor.
6 straight set down by the Indians right-hander, and now Kevin Smith. Pitchers duel developing here in Chicago. We've already had a few of those throughout Major League Baseball today.
Yeah, no kidding.
Kevin Cash and the Tampa Bay Rays with that bullpen game did it again. They shut out the Blue Jays 1-0. They scored their only run with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th. And the Brewers blanked the Cubs 1-0.
Yeah.
Also, the Braves shut out the Mets 2-0.
Well, right now, this looks like this game's going to turn into a 1-0 game the way it's going. Although the Indians have 4 hits, the White Sox have just 1. 2-out infield single.
Right at the first baseman, Alonso.
Oh.
How about that nifty glove work? Played flip with himself. Baseball is brought to you by the 2019 Kia Sorento, the perfect getaway vehicle. Visit KiaDealers.com to learn more. By Levin Furniture. For the best deals on furniture and mattresses, shop Levin's. And by your Chevy Network dealers. Visit ClickChevy.com. Chevrolet, find new roads. No score, 5th inning on the south side of Chicago. Indians have 4 hits on the night. 2 in the first, 2 in the fourth. But nothing across home plate. Roberto Perez with a base hit in the left center field. And we'll go back to Cleveland for a game break without Pulowski. It's got to be a tough one for the Halos, trying to close ground. They were already 6.5 back going into that game.
Yeah.
White Sox looking for a bunt here. Greg Allen was out on strikes in the third, but has had a tough time in bunting situations. And that's why he's not bunting. 1 down.
Well, it's going to be dollar dog night when we return back to Progressive Field Friday night against the Minnesota Twins. Get to Friday's game early and enjoy a pregame in the district. 10,000 fans will receive a plastic pint glass courtesy of Cisco, and then after the ball game there's going to be a fireworks show. Visit Indians.com for the tickets.
Francisco Lindor will try to give the Indians fans here in Chicago something to get excited about. He's 0 for 2. With the 2 doubles he hit last night, he's now 3rd in the American League with 23. Pulls it fair. And Ray steps on the bag. Double play. Inning over. Halfway through, no score in Chicago.
Military by sharing a photo or video with hashtag HatsOffForHeroes. For each post, T-Mobile will donate $1 to support veterans.
Bottom of the fifth on a beautiful night in Chicago, 76 degrees at game time. It has been a game dominated by the two pitchers. You can see Trevor Bauer's only allowed 1 hit. He has struck out 6. His counterpart Dylan Covey has scattered 5 hits and has not allowed a run yet himself. Tim Anderson leads off for Chicago, takes ball 1. One to count.
There it is again, another 1-2 count. That's the key to pitching, boy. Making that third pitch on the 1-1 pitch. You throw a strike. Now he's got a chance to go for it. Like he says, they have to expand their zone. He can go for the strikeout. And he's been on a roll with the strikeout. 4 out of the last 5 games have been double digits. He's got a 10, an 11, a 12, and a 13.
Tim Anderson, 5 hits in his last 36 at bats. And the 2-2 just missing up and away. Another full count. Does he go back and try to spot that fastball, or does he
Hook.
go to the equalizer?
Missed with the fastball, so had him down 1-2 and ended up walking him. That's what happened back in the first inning with Sanchez.
Snaps a string of 7 in a row retired by Bauer. Our mid-game summary brought to you by your Toyota dealers. Zilch, nada, nothing.
So strikeouts, you're going to see the first 3 on the breaking ball, and the next 3. There's another one. There's the heater, and there's the heater.
Charlie Tilson, a little swinging bunt infield hit his first time up. He's kind of chopped it by the mound, and his speed enabled him to beat it out. Indians thinking he might be bunting, but Tilson has hit in 7 of his last 8 games now, and he's held his own against right-handed pitching this year. He has not fared well against lefties, but he's batted better than .275 against right-handers. Runner goes. Thrown out by Perez. Whoa, way off the mark. Into center field it goes, and Anderson goes to third. So give Anderson his 14th stolen base of the year, and the error allows him to go to third base. And that's the leadoff man in the inning.
Yeah, and the throw was really nowhere close. You can't tell me that hand's still not bothering him as he throws it into center field. That'll be his 5th error on the year. But he gets to third base, and now Trevor's got some work to do.
Yank, base hit. White Sox take the lead. Tilson on his way to second. He won't stop there. All the way to third. It's a RBI triple. 1-0 Chicago.
Now you don't expect him to pull a ball, but he pulled it down into the right field corner, and his problem was just keeping his hat on. He was trying to keep that helmet on as he was rounding, almost tripped going around second base, but he'll get to third base, and they have now 20 doubles. So they have hit a boatload of them.
You mean triples?
Or triples, excuse me. And Tilson has his first.
It looked like a changeup, and he was just able to hook it and just barely keep it fair. Infield in now with that runner at third. Nobody out. Adam Engel is the batter. And he takes low ball one. One and one to count. Engel fly to left in the second inning. Oh, nice breaking ball. Gets ahead of a 1-2. Now he can go for a strikeout.
Yes, he does. He wants to get it here. There's certain times you have to go for one, and right now is one.
Checked his swing. He went too far, says first base umpire Carlos Torres. And that's the first out of the inning.
Well, take a look at it. It's going to be the breaking ball. A little slider. Intent. Here's the side look. And yes, he did. Number 7 for Bauer, and he gets the first out. Infield will remain in for Trace Thompson.
Thompson a ground out to third, his first time up.
And I'm thinking he will go on contact here at third base.
High fastball, threw it by him. Thompson has a little bigger strike zone than the average guy. Good block.
Pretty good ratio of strikes.
No doubt. It's been a strike throwing machine. One. Here comes the squeeze. And they're going to get the run home. 2 down. 2-0 Chicago. Well executed. The old suicide. Tilson broke from third. Thompson has to get the bunt down, and he did.
Yeah, that was. He certainly did. And, you know, it wasn't there. Here comes the runner. He didn't give it away. You just get it on the ground. And that was really a beautiful bunt. The only play they had was first base. Stayed on it. Well done to manufacture a run there.
Yohan Moncada sends a high fly ball into the twilight sky. Melky says, "I've got it," and the inning is over. The White Sox get on the board first with a pair in the 5th.
Today's Tribe Rewards code is Jersey. Visit Indians.com for complete details.
Michael Brantley leading off the sixth for the Indians, who now find themselves trailing 2-0. The offense has been handcuffed by Dylan Covey. He has struck out 5, has not walked a batter. And a chopper up the middle off the glove of Covey. Anderson can't get the handle, and Brantley beats it out.
Boy, he got help for it's his night tonight because he deflected it, and Anderson still had an opportunity, but he could not get it out of his glove. He double clutched, and by the time he could get it to throw, watch, there's the deflection. You say, okay, he's going to beat it out, but it went right to Anderson, and then a little hiccup there allowed Michael to beat it out, and he'll get his second hit.
Boy, I could see where you could almost give him an error on that. If he gets the ball out of his glove, it's an easy out at first. But that's about as unusual a play as you'll ever see. That ball really ricocheted high in the air.
I thought it was going to hit grass. I didn't think it went right to him.
Indians will take it. They need some base runners now and try to make something happen. Here's Jose Ramirez, 1 for 2. The White Sox made it happen with action on the bases. A leadoff walk, and then Anderson with a stolen base, an errant throw. And you get the triple, and then a squeeze play. He kind of forced the issue, did Rick Renteria. And hey, when you're 19 games under 500, why not? Ramirez with a line drive single into right field. Brantley will stop at second. And the Indians have their first 2 on here in the 6th.
Yeah, there's a start. They had the leadoff man aboard last inning, and then got an out and a double play. So the table's set now, and Ramirez is going to pick on a breaking ball, sitting out over the plate, and lines it into right field. So that's his second hit. So both Brantley and Ramirez have 2 hits, and they've both been on twice.
Almost looked like the bird ducked its head, but it didn't move. So they've got 2 on, nobody out, and Edwin at the plate. He's 0 for 2 on the night. Last time up, just missed, hitting one out of here to right field. Watch the bird's head duck here at the last second. Better get down. But he didn't fly away, he just ducked. I thought they were gone, but they about a half dozen of them have returned to the playing surface. Edwin looks, it's outside. One ball, one strike.
Must have been happy hour for the first 5 innings of this game.
Encarnacion down on the count, 1-2. Drives it to right field, but Thompson is there in the alley to make the catch. Brantley will tag. He'll make it to third, so a chance to get on the board now with first and third and 1 out.
He did a nice job to stay on that ball and drive it to right field. He had to reach out over there with 2 strikes. He didn't try to pull that ball, and at least he got Michael to third base.
Yonder Alonso took a called third strike with runners at second and third and 2 out in the first inning to end that frame. And then with 2 outs, he slithered a single through the right side of the infield in the 4th inning. RBI chance here. As Covey approaches 70 pitches on the night, 48 of the 69 thus far have been strikes. So he has done a very good job of doing what Bauer has done. Pitch ahead. Count even, 1-1.
Smith wants to go out, and here they come. Here comes their meeting again. Everybody will come to the mound. It looks like Smith is doing all the talking. Who is the catcher? So they break that up.
Yeah, the count is it's 2-0. And so for one of the few times tonight, Covey's found himself in a bit of a jam. 1st and 3rd, 1 out. He's behind Alonso, 2-0. And a foul out of play. Way better than the major league average, getting him home from 3rd. But Yanner's probably thinking, I'm going to be greedy here. I want to get a couple of runs home, maybe. We'll get a base hit. There goes the runner. Pops him up.
Better get back.
Man, this could end the inning.
No, he'll get back.
That hung in the air forever, and Ramirez is able to return. 2 down. Frustration on the offense.
Well, Ramirez right here, his head down, and that's a straight steal. He wanted to steal a base, and he didn't even look. He didn't pick up a coach. He just had a feeling that that ball was coming back unless he heard verbally somebody say something, get back. But he sprinted back to first base, and they get the 2nd out.
And it will bring up Melky Cabrera. He's 1 for 2. Broke his bat and singled the last time he was up. Up high. So far tonight, the Indians are 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position. Melky Cabrera trying to snap that trend right here. And he's done a good job of that with 8 runs batted in his last 7 games. A number of those have come via the sacrifice fly when he's had runners at 3rd and less than 2 out. But here he needs the hit. To center field, well struck, Engel racing back on the track, makes the catch, heading over. 2 more hits, 2 more stranded. That makes 6 through 6 for Cleveland. They're down 2-0. get the ball on the ground. But watch how fast Charlie Tilson gets home.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, he didn't. All you have to do is put it on the ground, and he got in there in just a little over 2 seconds. So that was fine. He had a nice lead and didn't give a. You can't take off too early. You got to wait till that pitcher's foot almost hits the dirt part of the mound where he can't change his pitch. Give it away early. Pitchers used to be taught to throw it right at the head of a right-handed hitter to get him out of the way where he couldn't do anything if the runner tips himself. Yeah.
Well, while the Indians offense is spinning its wheels, Trevor Bauer has to really bear down now. He's got the heart of the order here in the 6th inning. One of the reasons why the Indians have had so much success against the White Sox of late, winning 16 of their last 21, 15 times in those 21 games, they've allowed 3 runs or less.
Yeah, they do the same thing to the Detroit Tigers. You know, the reason why they've been able to beat them, get 3 runs or less.
8 strikeouts now for Trevor Bauer. The 2018 FIFA World Cup is coming to Fox and FS1 with every match live and over 300 hours of coverage. The world's biggest sporting event begins tomorrow only on Fox and FS1 and the Fox Sports app. Jose Abreu 0 for 2 tonight. .25 doubles, second most in the American League. He's not exactly dialed in right now at the plate. Last 7 games, plus 2 at-bats tonight, plus 4 for 28.
Well, the Indians have done a great job against him on the year. Where you'll see 0 for 20.
He's the leading vote getter among American League first basemen in the All-Star game. Yanked to left. That's going to be down and headed to the corner. Cut off by Brantley, but not before Abreu has himself a 1-out double, and that's his 26th on the year.
Yeah, and his first hit, and it doesn't surprise you. It's a double. Looks like a breaking ball. Yes, it is. He stayed down on it. Was down. Knee high, but he was able to get the head out and pull it a little bit. So that'll be a 1-out double for Abreu. His first hit against the Indians this year.
Kia drive to success. Daniel Palka, when he swings the bat and makes contact, he hits it hard with regularity. But what does that mean overall? Talking about a guy with around a 250 batting average. And sometimes when you swing hard, you miss. He has struck out 43 times in now 39 games played. Which kind of brings us right back to the top of our telecast. The old Woody Held theory of swing hard just in case you make contact. I mean, you know, I was serious when I said when he did that, you know, over 100 strikeouts was, oh, how could you do that? Well, now you got guys striking out 200 times a year with regularity.
Well, baseball, they were against the strikeout back then. If you were a little guy and you were not a home run hitter, they wouldn't put up with the strikeouts. Now it's accepted, you know, for strikeouts. If you swing and miss, they don't really care anymore. So guys can go up there and swing for the fences, you know. And the thing of it is too, when you hit home runs, if you hit 25 home runs, you also want to see what you hit with runners in scoring position. You know, what was your average? Did you make outs? And you got to make some productive outs every once in a while as well.
Halka goes down swinging for the 3rd time tonight. And Perez will have to throw to first to get the out. They do. And they're 2 down in the inning.
Watch Trevor, he doesn't mess around. You get a fastball, a breaking ball, and see you later.
Kevin Smith will be the batter with a runner at second and 2 down. Well, I remember meeting Woody Held at fantasy camp years ago, and not a big guy at all. And so you think about 29 home runs.
Yeah. Back in those days, middle infielders didn't hit home runs like that. They just didn't do it. You're right.
I'm talking about 1959 when he did that. Yeah.
Bowers, if he gets one more strikeout, he can match Corey Kluber and Bob Feller as the only pitchers in franchise history to get 4 consecutive starts with double-digit strikeouts. He has 9 right now.
Oh, and 2 the count. Carl Willis has watched Trevor Bauer strike out 9 White Sox so far tonight. And the 0-2 is a little low. Only 2 runs allowed, and they came in the 5th.
White Sox only have 3 hits tonight. But in that 5th, it was the leadoff walk, and then they stole a base, an error, a triple, and a squeeze. And it happened quickly.
Closing in on 100 pitches for the night, but he's been pretty much stress-free other than that 5th inning for a couple of batters. But as Rick said, it happened quickly, so it's not like he was out there laboring through tough at-bats.
Right.
And the 2-2 is a breaking ball, but no chase, full count. Base hit right field. Cabrera charging, waving him home. Here's the throw to the plate, and it is not in time. The ball took either a weird hop or Perez just had trouble corralling it. It looked like the throw was going to get there in time, but the runner able to get in under the tag, and it's now 3-0 Chicago.
I think the hop, he had to go upstairs. It was about eye high on that hop coming up. He had to wait to get it before he put the tag down. You see it jumped up on him, and he was able to get that foot underneath the tag. It's not that it was a bad throw. With 2 outs, you're going to send him, and it was a 2-out base hit, and they get the 3rd run in. Big 2-out hit there, and that makes it a 3-0 ball game.
Foul up the third base side. Bauer with the 1-2 on its way to Tim Anderson. Strikes him out. It's his 10th of the night. But a 2-out RBI hit extends the White Sox lead to 3-0. Toyota dealers. Visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And by the injury lawyers at Elk & Elk. Proud partners of the Cleveland Indians. Call 1-800-ELK, Ohio. 3-0 Chicago. As the Indians try to get something going offensively. They have been blanked through 6 innings. And the difference in the game comes down to pure old-fashioned execution. The Indians are 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position. Chicago is 2 for 6 plus a perfectly executed squeeze play. And that's it. The Indians have had opportunities. They've had 2 hits 3 different times in the game consecutively. But then it's like somebody just pulls the plug.
Kobe's been very good with runners in scoring position on the year, and he continues that tonight. Matter of fact, his last start against the Red Sox, I told you he went 6 innings, allowed only 3 hits, did not allow a run. Start before that against the Brewers, 5 innings, and it was an unearned run that was allowed in that ball game. So he's been pitching very well.
Let's see if that gets him started here. A leadoff single for Jason Kipnis. Second, make that 3rd straight inning now. The Indians have had their leadoff man aboard.
Well, there was 3 men over on the right side of that infield. He was still able to find that hole. Gets it past Moncada at second into right field. So 8 hits, all singles tonight for the Tribe. Kobe hasn't walked anybody, and he struck out 5.
Roberto Perez 1 for 2 on the night. Slow chopper to third. Sanchez goes to first. 1 down. Kipnis moves into scoring position.
Told you, he pretty much he likes to get the ball on the ground. He has some movement. He's got that good split change. A couple of sliders have been working. But the Indians have had their share, as you mentioned, base runners. They just can't get the hit when it counts.
Greg Allen, a weak ground ball to first. They'll throw to third. Double play. Are you kidding me? What a job by Abreu to tag the bag, and he didn't give up on the play. He goes across the diamond, and the inning is over. Is upon us, and that means the U.S. Open from Shinnecock Hills begins Thursday on Fox FS1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. It is a great weekend of golf and a great tradition, great way to wrap up Father's Day weekend. We go now to the home half of the 7th inning, and leading off for Chicago is Charlie Tilson, who is 2 for 2 tonight with a base hit, an RBI triple, and a run scored. Bullpen up and active for the Indians as Bauer makes his 100th pitch of the night, and Tilson a jam job to second. 1 down.
Well, you talk about a heads-up defensive play right here. He just, I mean, you could tell he was thinking of that all the way. Ball hit at him. He went right to the bag, and Sanchez was ready at third base, and they applied the tag, and they got Kipnis at third. A really heads-up play there by Abreu at first base. That was well done.
That means the Indians are now 1 for their last 22 with a runner in scoring position. And that, more than anything else, is why the offense has gone kaput.
Would we talk about in May when they started getting ooh, that just misses. They got on fire. Everybody was hitting very well with runners in scoring position, and when it leaves, it goes cold and it's tough to score.
Well, and that's why what we were saying early in the year, they were really surviving and thriving on the home run ball. But you can't count on that to always be there. And so now as they, and again, this is short sample. We're talking about a couple of games here, but that's how a team like the White Sox, it's 19 games under 500, has been able to win and now take the lead into the bottom of the 7th here tonight. Brantley converging with Allen. They both call for it, but Brantley, the senior statesman, takes the play, and there are 2 down. Trace Thompson. He may be just 2 for his last 31 at the plate, but he can at least go to bed tonight knowing he did his job in that 5th inning. Did what was asked of him, got the bunt down. The White Sox got the 2nd run of that 5th inning.
You know, it was the perfect time too for Renteria to put it on. There was 1 out. They're at the bottom of the order, and a nice pitch to do it on, and he was successful doing it. When that play works, it looks beautiful. You're the team that can execute it.
Two-one pitch.
Here we'll get another look at it. Here comes the runner. He just didn't really square around, just turned that frame over and said, there it is, down on the ground. Only play they had was first base, and he scores easily. So you get a lot of high fives for that when you go back into the dugout.
He's out looking. That's 11 Ks for Bauer. We played 7 in Chicago. Indians are down 3-0. Dylan Covey has never recorded an out past the 7th inning in his career. But here he is pitching into the 8th tonight against the Indians. spinning an 8-hit shutout to this point. Francisco Lindor is 0 for 3 on the night.
They know that. They have their bullpen up and getting loose. But he's been in really command tonight. He's given up the hits, but he's been able to get them out when needed.
Lindor with a line drive single into right field. Isn't that crazy? He's given up 9 hits, but he's only made 83 pitches.
4th straight inning now that they've had their leadoff man aboard. But 2 double plays out there. 1 in the 5th, 1 in the 7th. And out comes pitching coach Don Cooper.
Straight stall tactic here. Try to get the bullpen some time to get loose.
Yeah, both a righty and a lefty out there getting loose. Looks like Rondon is the righty.
Well, this might be the game for the Indians. You've got Brantley, Ramirez, and Edwin. With Lindor aboard to start the inning. If they can't get on the board here, it could be curtains. Not that the White Sox bullpen isn't automatic. They have had their problems this year as well. But you've got your best hitters up, leadoff man aboard. The key is, the question will be, can you erase what has already transpired tonight? Can you put it behind you and say, all right, yeah, we haven't done it yet, but forget about it.
Oh yeah, they're going to have to, and they're going to have to score on a bullpen that's have pitched very well. 21 2/3 consecutive scoreless innings.
But as we mentioned earlier, a bullpen now minus Nate Jones, who's been a key contributor. Still, Covey's done his job getting them this deep in the game. They won't need to use many relievers, you wouldn't think. Right now it's Brantley's turn against Covey, and he pulls it into the dugout. He sent guys scattering. Somebody went down face first in the front row. That was Melky.
I want to send out our birthday wish tonight. Mickey Tester is 75 from Bellevue. Happy birthday, Mickey.
The 1-1. Pulls it foul. Michael Brantley, where does he thrive? Middle in, down and away, and even up and away occasionally.
Yeah, he likes that ball down. I know that.
How does a hitter or a pitcher scatter 9 hits in a game, make them all singles?
Yeah.
And that's what he's done. No extra base hits for Cleveland to this point. And a ground ball single into center field. That's going to send Lindor all the way to third. And a bad throw to third enables Brantley to get into second base.
Yeah, that was
a break right there for the Tribe. And now second and third, nobody out, and decision time for Rick Renneria.
That was a bad throw by Thompson. You keep the double play in order. Once the ball goes through, he had no chance of getting Lindor at third base as he's off and running, and you concede that. You keep the ball and get it into second, and once he overthrows the cutoff man, Brantley continues, gets himself into scoring position at second base, and now you're going to get a pitching change.
Yeah, Rick Renneria will go to the center of the diamond and make the Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen. Dylan Covey goes 7 innings, does not get that out in the 8th inning for the first time in his career. Gives up a couple of hits, but he goes off to a nice ovation from the faithful here on the south side. We'll be right back. the Indians fans finally got something to get excited about. Indians have second and third, nobody out, down 3-0 in the 8th, and left-hander Jace Fry is on for Chicago.
He may be on just for this hitter here.
I have to believe that's the case. First ball swinging. Ramirez grounds out to third. Wow, one down. And the beat goes on for the Indians as they are now 0 for 8 tonight with the runners in scoring position. It looks like Rick's going to stay with his guy.
Okay.
Thought maybe he was going to pull a maneuver like we saw in Cleveland where he went 3 pitchers. Was it 4? 3 or 4? 4 batters, 4 different pitchers. So Edwin will bat 0 for 3 on the night. Right-handers aren't exactly killing it against Jace Fry. They're hitting only 207.
Yeah, you look at Encarnacion this year. He's 193 against left-handed pitching on the year. So maybe that's one reason why he's going to leave him in right here, because you got the left-hander on deck as well.
Ripped into left field, a base hit. That'll get the Indians up on the board as Lindor scores and Brantley stops at third. It's 3-1. Edwin with his 41st run batted in on the season.
Well, they get him on the board. They move Brantley up. He gets a pitch out over the plate to his liking and hits it into left field for the base hit. That is 11 hits now. The first hit with a runner in scoring position, desperately needed. So they're on the board. It's a 3-1 game.
Yeah, they were 0 for 8 and 1 for their last 23 before that hit. We're going to get a pinch runner now for Edwin since he is the tying run. Rajay Davis will take over at first base. Yonder Alonso, a swing and a miss. He is 1 for 3 on the night. Raj thought about going to second base, but he saw the way the ball ricocheted out in front of Kevin Smith and thought better of it. Can't get thrown out here when you're the tying run on base.
There you see the breaking ball in the dirt. No, you have to be absolutely sure you can get down there, and that's really no chance. He had his eye on him all the way.
There can't be too many games during the course of a season where a team has 11 hits in a game and not one of them is for extra bases. There goes Raj. He got a great jump. It's a fair ball down the right field line. Raj lost sight of the ball. He's on his way to third. Sarba has to stop him now. Alonso is into second, and it's a 1-run game.
Yeah, he didn't know what happened. He didn't pick up his coach. He did not see him, but it goes as a double.
And their first extra base hit of the night.
I'm not sure if he would have been able to score even if he took off, but I want to see. That ball went right over first base. It's a breaking ball. It goes over the bag. Now watch Davis stop at second base. He doesn't see the ball. He doesn't know where it's at, and he stopped. But by the time he could start up, he had to hold him. Not sure if he would have been able to score. Tough to tell. But they're still in a good situation now, second and third, and 1 out. And it's a 3-2 ball game now.
Yeah, I mean, you still have the go-ahead run in scoring position. So
right.
It's a pretty good, even though Raj didn't score, I know what you're saying. You could have tied the game, but you still have a great opportunity here. One base hit could give you the lead.
That's one of the toughest plays as a base runner, too. When you have to look down there, that ball's hit behind you over the first base bag, you have to pick up your third base coach. He's the one that can help you out in that situation if you need it.
Tito pulling out all the stops, going for the juggler here. Another pinch runner, Gonzalez, representing the go-ahead run at second base. Melky Cabrera batting right-handed. 1 down in the inning. And a swing and a miss. He is 1 for 3 on the night. He's actually swung the bat really well from this side of the plate, though he is in the hole here 0-2.
0-2, and he's with this situation 7 for 7 of getting him home, but he's going to have to battle and work very hard now. And they have to keep the infield back because the go-ahead run is at second base. So even a ground ball up the middle will score.
Bouncing ball, and it's foul up the third base side. Rajay will head back to third base. Tigers beat the Twins tonight in Detroit 5-2. Right now the Indians trying to climb out of a 3-0 deficit. They have 2 in, 2 on, 1 out, 2-strike pitch. Struck him out. 2 down.
Elevated the heater and got it by him. First time since Cabrera's been here, he hasn't been able to get that guy in from third base. So now it's going to be up to Jason Kipnis now with 2 outs.
Spun him out of the way. And it's ball 1. Kipnis 1 for 3 tonight. He did single leading off the 7th inning, pulled one through the right side of the infield. Almost hit him again, 2-0. He's in a good spot here. Can't ask for anything better, really. 2-0. He's got to come to you. Even though first base is open. Slows it down, and it's in the strike zone, 2-1. If he can wait back and shoot it the other way, there's a huge gap in left center. 2-2. This crowd of 19,390 for the first time tonight, making some noise. Trot gets on the board, but another opportunity wasted here in the 8th. for the Indians at first base. Trevor Bauer will pitch into the 8th inning. He's at 109 pitches on the night. He's gone as many as 127 this year. Jammed and fouled back. 1-1. One-run game now. Big bouncer foul. We say it all the time. Rare nowadays that a starting pitcher will get to see a lineup for a 4th time, or maybe you flip it the other way. Rare for a hitter now that they get to see the same pitcher 4 times in a game.
Look at it any which way you want to. It is strange.
Tried to hold up, but I thought he went around nose, says third base ump Tom Woodruff. Take a look on the side camera. No, he did hold up. That was a good call. I guess I flip it around the other way because I remember you saying 4th time around the edge sort of goes to the hitter. Maybe not every time, but you've seen all his pitches. He's not at his best usually by the 100
you
whatever
figure you
pitch
lose
mark.
a little bit in your velocity. You're getting a little tired. You might be elevating the baseball a little bit, but this is a different animal. Trevor Bauer.
Center field, Greg Allen. 1 down. Great clip of the game last night. Zach McAllister. Boy, he pitched well.
Yes, he did. 2 1/3 innings for the 2nd time this year and didn't allow a hit. He retired all 7 guys he faced. Beautiful. Good job.
Yomar Sanchez 0 for 2 with a walk. Takes a strike. Whoa, he chased one in the dirt. And that is 12 strikeouts on the night for Trevor Bauer. 2nd consecutive game he has struck out 12 batters, and 4th straight game double-digit strikeouts for Trevor. Back here tomorrow to wrap up the series. Indians Live begins our coverage at 1:30. First pitch just after 2 on Sports Time Ohio and streaming on Fox Sports Go. That's going to be it for Bauer. Tito going to go to the bullpen with 2 down in the 8th, and the Indians down a run. On to pitch to Jose Abreu with 2 down, bases empty, last of the 8th. 23rd appearance of the year. And Abreu is 1 for 3 on the night. His base hit in the 6th inning snapped an 0 for 12 slump, and it was his first hit against Indians pitching for the year. Ground ball right at Jason Kipnis. He'll throw him out. Last chance for the Indians coming up next.
Of the Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians.
(3-2) White Sox lead it, 9th inning. And Joaquin Soria will try to close it out for Chicago. It's Roberto Perez, Greg Allen, Francisco Lindor due up for the Indians. Lonnie Chisenhall and Yan Gomes, the only remaining players on the bench for the Indians. Perez is 1 for 3 on the night. Indians have out hit Chicago 12-4.
Yeah, amazing, isn't it, in that department? I was thinking when you mentioned we got Chisenhall on the bench, I was wondering why he's not hitting here. Because even if Perez gets a hit, you got a pinch run for him, don't you?
You would think so. And he's called out on strikes. Recapping our storylines tonight, brought to you by Ford. Trevor Bauer continues to roll with the strikeouts. Indians couldn't buy a hit against Dylan Covey. especially with runners in scoring position. They finally got a couple off the bullpen to close to within 1 run in this game. But more on Trevor Bauer with his 12 strikeouts tonight. He is now 3rd in the American League in strikeouts. He passed Luis Severino, James Paxton, and Justin Verlander tonight. He's got 121 on the year. Chris Sale leads the league with 129. Garrett Cole pitching currently has 125. Here's Lonnie Chisenhall pinch hitting. Tell you what, Soria is not messing around. He's thrown 5 pitches. He's got 5 strikes.
Well, that's one thing this guy always has done coming out of the bullpen. He's been a straight thrower. No question.
Maybe ahead of the count, just decided to waste one, see if we can get him to chase.
Told you this White Sox bullpen coming into today, into this ball game, 21 2/3 consecutive scoreless innings.
Overall, the bullpen has allowed a .259 batting average, which is 10th in the American League. Francisco Lindor waiting on deck. Will he bat with the game on the line and 2 down, or will he have a base runner to work with? 3 on the right side of the infield for Chicago. 2-2 pitch. Lined into left field. A base hit for Lonnie Chisenhall, who will stop at first base. And now Francisco Lindor will come to the plate representing the go-ahead run.
Well, Chiz does a nice job. That pitch down and away to stay on that, take it the other way. Hit a line drive. They had the 3 guys over on the right side. There's your third baseman about shortstop. A 1-out single. There's the tying run on first base. Their 13th hit of the night.
Not quite a shift on, but an unusual defensive alignment as Lindor pops one up, bloops it. Going out, Tim Anderson, he can't get there. It drops for a hit, and the Indians have 2 on with 1 out. You couldn't have run out there and throw it on the ground any better.
Well, Anderson almost tried to catch it barehanded, because with your back to the infield, you really don't have a beat on it. He knew he was gonna have to try and get out there, and he. You know, when you're back to that infield, he wasn't on his glove side, so he couldn't put up the glove. You see, you're looking over, and he just couldn't do anything with it. So that'll fall as a base hit. 14 hits now. And out of the 14, only 1 extra base hit. That was the double by Yonder Alonso that drove in a run.
Here's Michael Brantley with Jose Ramirez to follow. Joakim Soria's got trouble now here in the ninth. And Brantley had one to rip, but it was just above the nitro zone. That's not exactly his meat and potatoes area to hit a baseball. Now the pitch that's up and away, he has thrived on this year. Oh, 1. Down and in off the plate. See, that first pitch was around that 158 area. Just at the top of
because his swing is so level and he uses the whole field that if it's up away a little bit, he stays through the hitting area and stays on that pitch. It's tough to get the barrel out in that one that's about the middle of the plate or in.
Ground ball. Oh, he steps on the bag, goes to first. He bypassed shoveling it to Anderson, still gets the double play, and the game is over. The White Sox hold on for a 3-2 win. A thoroughly frustrating night overall for the Indians at the plate. They end up with 14 hits in the game, but only 2 runs home. 13 singles, but the big hit still elusive. They end up 2 for 13 on the night with a runner in scoring position, and now 3 for their last 28 overall. And they've lost 2 in a row here in Chicago. The final score tonight, the White Sox 3, the Indians 2. Back with a final word after this.